Hey there, Materos. Welcome back to another Yerba review. I'm super pumped you're here joining us today. Ew! And as you know, spring is here. And so I thought today we do something a bit sweeter. So we are gonna go with the CBSé Honey. Now, many of you know that I like to open my bags on the spot to give you guys a pure review. But I happened to get this from a friend of mine who had a little bit out of here. And so that's why it's open today. But nonetheless, we can do a great review with it. So let's talk about the CBSé. Previously, I've done a video on the orange, the naranja, and I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It had a nice sweet texture to it. It was good, you know, for beginners. Any time of the day, you can sit back and have your citrus drink. But I'm really curious about this honey. So let's dive into it. Let's start with the bag, because last video I talked about how these companies put a lot into the kind of marketing for the design, right? To really get people's attention, and CBSé is no different, right? What I like about them is they put pictures on there that kind of represent what's inside. So if you don't speak Spanish or can't read the label, they've got pictures of it. So down here's the honey. I also like that mate that's on the front, which is pretty cool. Really simple. It's got the bombilla, the gourd on the front. It's got it on the back side. So both sides, it represents the mate. Color really stands out. You know, this kind of yellowish orange color on here really pops and gets people's attention. On the side of the bag, they've got instructions for you for people who are new to this, how to prepare the traditional style of yerba mate on the side. And then on the other side, they've got their facts. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the little intricate designs on here. You can see clouds and bushes, little trees. So that's cool. Now, one thing I want to talk about before we get into this is I was really curious about the honey that comes in this. I've seen videos, I have yet to try it, but I've seen videos where people pour natural honey into the side of their gourd on top of the yerba, and then they let it seep in to give it that natural honey taste. And I personally, I love honey. So hopefully I can do a video on that coming up real soon. But I'm really curious how they get the natural honey into this, if it's dried flakes or what it is. But one thing really stuck out to me, and this might be important to a lot of people out there, is the ingredients on here say it has aspartame. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a sweetener. It's an artificial sweetener. I'm not a fan of those. I prefer anything that's natural. The natural honeys, maple syrup, I like that too. But not a huge fan of aspartame, and maybe you won't be either, but that's up to you. So let's go ahead. Let's start with the smell test. Let's see what we got here. All right. It does have a nice honey smell to it. That's really nice, but there's something else to it too. Maybe that is the aspartame. I'm not sure if aspartame has a smell to it or not. As I said, I'm not a big fan, but anyways, it's got a nice honey, a very sweet, light smell to it. Nothing really strong with the smell. It's heavy in the sweetness. Yeah, typical Argentina style cut. Let's see if I can pull that up for you guys to see. Yeah, it's the Argentinian cut. It's got bigger leaves and stems. So let's go ahead and fill it up and get started with our review. All right, I'm just going to use a little bit of warm water today instead of the room temperature water. I want to see if it has any impact on the taste. A lot of people mention that when we do Uruguayan mates like Canarias and so forth, adding warm water will actually help it pack a little bit better. The cold water, it doesn't really attract to the leaves. So I'm going to try it with a little bit of warm water that I have here and see if it makes a difference. Now, obviously, you guys know we're not using any boiling water. We never use boiling water with our mate. So this is just under 70 degrees Celsius, the water that I'm using today. And I can tell it's packing a little bit better already. So I've noticed that when I use room temperature or even a little bit cold water, what happens is it'll take my mound and grab the leaves and start to pull the leaves down. This one's a little bit different. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it's not really pulling the leaves down. It's actually pushing into it. So maybe there is something to that. And maybe you guys can try that as well. But yeah, CBSé, this is, as you guys know, if you watch my naranja video, it's from Argentina. I'm pretty excited about this. I want to see, because I was a fan of the orange, and I liked how it was smooth and you could use it just about any time of the day. Get that little citrus kick. So I'm really curious about the honey. Springtime bunnies out there, let's take a sip. Salud. You definitely get a very sweet kick up front. That one is like a punch. Something very sweet hits you. It doesn't have a natural honey taste. To me, it does taste artificial. And again, that could be because of the aspartame. The taste-wise, though, it's not unpleasant. It has a sweetness to it. You know, many people out there who are on the artificial sweeteners because they want to get off of sugar, this might be a good opportunity for them to try something like this, the CBSé Honey. So very sweet taste to it. I'm not getting lots of the yerba taste. There's not much of that grassy, earthy taste to this. At least up front, the first couple fills have more of a sweet taste to them and no hard aftertaste either. All right, so this is the third fill, third cycle, and the taste is still about the same as the first. Not as strong, obviously, but still very sweet. That artificial sweetness, though, I'm not a fan of that. This too may be a good one to get beginners on if you want to start sharing mate with people, and you know, mate's got that hard, earthy taste to it. Whether it's got, you know, the grassy notes or hints of tobacco in it, or the dark chocolate taste or the bitterness. A lot of people may get turned off by that. So CBSé, their line offers a good kind of segue into it. It has sweeteners, obviously the aspartame in this one, natural orange peels. Again, I'd really like to know, if you guys know, drop a comment down below and let me know how they get the honey in this. I'm not sure if they harden it and they kind of crystallize it and put it into the bag itself or not. All right, so let's give it our points. Let's see what we have. I like this. I really wish it didn't have the aspartame in it. I think adding natural honey, if you find a nice, soft, suave yerba and you kind of add your own natural honey to it, that might be a little bit better. Certainly will be healthier for you. But yeah, I like it as a transition. This is not something I could drink every day because I feel that sweetener kind of come and sit down in my stomach. So it's not something that I would personally drink all the time, but this would be great, you know, sitting out in the park on a nice windy day or a cool day and just kind of relaxing and you want something sweet. I like it for that. But I think that's really all it's used for, in my opinion. To me, it's not an everyday drinker, but good for newbies and good for the occasion. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with a bit lower on this. I'm going to go a 6.4. 6.4. Yeah, and maybe a little bit lower because that aspartame maybe down to a 5.4. Maybe, just because of the sweeteners for me. Now again, if you like those, then this is something you'll definitely like. So, all right guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys subscribing, liking these videos, and even dropping comments down below. So, much appreciated. And until next time, keep drinking your yerba.